Welcome back to the channel. So PIB dated 21st of November 2019. Let's get on to it right away. The first press release was about implementation of Poshanabhiyaan. Poshan means nutrition and Abhiyaan means a mission. So this mission is about improving the nutritional status of children, of women. Alright, before talking about the implementation of Poshanabhiyaan, let's just talk about the mission per se. Alright, Poshan means what? PO, Prime Minister's overarching scheme for holistic nutrition is what Poshan is. So Poshan is an abbreviation of this very thing. Prime Minister's overarching, that is an all-encompassing, a comprehensive scheme for holistic nutrition. Alright. Further, earlier its name was National Nutrition Mission, but right now we just call it Poshanabhiyaan. So if a question is about National Nutrition Mission, then don't get confused. These two are the same thing, and this is also by Ministry of Women and Child Development, because we did have one question on National Nutrition Mission in the year 2016 or 17 maybe. So it was by Ministry of Women and Child Development. This was one of the statement, and we know this thing now. Okay. Further, it's a flagship program. Flagship program means just like we have a flag that is very big and that covers everything, similarly this very scheme has taken into its domain all other schemes that are there that talk about improving the nutritional status of women and children. So it's an umbrella program. Alright. Further, it talks about what? It talks about improving the nutritional outcome for children, pregnant women and lactating mothers. So targeted groups are very specific. Children under 6 to be very specific, pregnant women and lactating mothers. Further, the mission is talking about improving the nutritional outcomes. Look at the word outcome here. So we just have to understand few things. Number one, there is a difference between improving the input or output or outcome. Please try to understand this difference whenever we're talking about the inputs. So if I am to take example of this very scheme only, so input would be how much are their outlays, how much financial devolution is there, how much government's gonna be incurring expenditure when it comes to improving the health of the women and children. This is what input is. How many Anganwadi's workers would be deployed. These are all inputs. Further, output would be how much is improvement is there in terms of improved supervision, improved care of antenatal. These are all outputs. And finally, we're talking about outcomes. Outcome means finally how much improvement is there when it comes to change in behavior of parents. So here we're talking about the behavioral change. How much responsive parents are towards the immunization of their children, towards the breastfeeding, towards the care of the lactating and pregnant women. How much behavioral change is there? This is what outcome is. And we know this is difficult to monitor. So this is in fact something we write as a drawback of these sort of things, that alright, outcomes are something which is good, but again this is difficult to monitor. But either way, this is deviation now. What we have to understand in this very thing is that Poshan mission is talking about improving the nutritional outcomes for children, and ultimately the long-term objective is to lower down the number of children suffering from malnutrition, lower down the number of women suffering from anemia. We know that as per National Family Health Survey 4, about more than 50% of women in India are anemic. So this is a huge number. And we also know that mother's health is related to children's health. So this program talks about improving the nutritional outcomes of women, pregnant women, lactating mothers and children. Alright. And one thing more about outcome budgeting or outcome intervention is that we just have to we have to recognize the goal, the ultimate target area, the ultimate thing that we want to achieve, and then we just have to trace the journey backwards. We have to take steps in a backward direction. Goal is there, so how much output's gonna be there? Okay, all right. And for that output, how much input's gonna be there that we would be needing. So we are tracking the journey backwards. This is what outcome is. Okay, so I mean a separate question can also comes on outcome based approach. So That's why I've just ended up explaining everything. So every word carry a meaning. So national outcomes for children, pregnant women and lactating mothers, launched in which year? In the year 2018. This is also important. Okay, now this mission has 4 pillars. Not very important, but either way they are not difficult, so let's just read them once. Intersectoral convergence for better service delivery, because we know when it comes to tackling the health of women, tackling the health of children, then we don't really need one sector's intervention. No, multiple sectors are there, multiple ministries are there, multiple departments are there, so a convergence has to be there, and this is what this mission talks about achieving. Intersectoral convergence, use of ICT. And this is what this PIB is all about. We know this mission has one pillar that talks about use of technology, and here PIB is talking about providing smartphones to Anganwadi workers and lady supervisors who are the frontline functionaries. Frontline functionaries means the people who are at the forefront, who are at the very first line of command. If anything happened at the ground level, Anganwadi's workers would be the first to respond, and that's what make them frontline functionaries. So just because in what ICT is what yes, ICT is information communication and technology, this function is there, this pillar is there, so this is why under Poshanabhiyaan this thing is being done now. So I mean, otherwise it's sort of difficult, like if we're talking about Poshanabhiyaan, then why come we are giving smartphones and all to the Anganwadi workers? We are giving them because Poshanabhiyaan is a very very big mission and it has one ICT as its pillar. Okay, further, intensified health and nutrition services for the first 100 days. So look at the word, not just health and nutrition service, rather intensified, like intensive health, very very high number of very increased, improved focus on health and nutrition for first 1000 days. And then a Jan Andolan. Jan Andolan simply means more and more public participation. Okay, so this is it for the Poshanabhiyaan. I'm sure you would have understood whatever I have stated. This a little bit deviation about the nutrition outcome was there because I really feel it's important. That's it. Okay, further, Department of Space has launched what? Department of Space has incorporated a new company and the name is NewSpace India Limited. Alright, it's a completely government owned entity. 100% shareholding is with the government of India. It is under Department of Space, and just look at that, we haven't mentioned any ministry here, and this is because Department of Space is directly under Prime Minister office. Alright, further, this NewSpace India Limited is for what? This is for commercial exploitation of space research and development. So space research and development has up till now been a government sector domain. Government or ISRO and DRDO, they are the only entities they have been working in this very sector up till now, but now government has incorporated a company that's gonna be talking about the commercial utilization of space and research and development. This is it. This is very important for our prelims. Even if you think this is not, but trust me, it is. The name of the company is NewSpace India Limited. For what? For commercial exploitation of space research and development under Department of Space, and Department of Space is directly under Prime Minister's office. Its mandate is quite self-explanatory. You can pause this video and read it on your own, because if I end up reading everything, that's gonna take a lot of time. So mandate is nothing difficult to understand. Alright, just understand one thing here, that it will also talk about marketing of spin-off technologies. Now what are spin-off technologies? Spin-off technology simply means that although space research is designed primarily to explore space, like satellites are there to do what? Satellite launch vehicles are there to launch satellites into the space. So all the space research is targeted towards exploring the space per se. But many of the technological inventions can be used in everyday application outside the space industry also. Like, I think this is self-explanatory. For example, the fire retardant clothing is there. So this was basically as a something designed for space exploration for astronauts, but right now we know that this thing is used for our earthbound applications also. We have fire retardants, everything like clothing and then construction material. So yes, I mean the things that are primarily designed for space exploration, they can have their use in the otherwise everyday application of human use also. So this is what Spinoff technology is, and this very company NewSpace India Limited will talk about marketing of these technologies and products in India as well as abroad. So please read it once, okay? Take a pause and read it once, because I feel it's otherwise obvious, but it might not be obvious for some of us. So depending upon your level of preparation, you can pause it and read it, okay? Alright, so what will be the purpose? What all it's gonna be achieving? So entire outcome will be obvious, like it will spur the growth in the space sector. Further, it will end up generating foreign exchange revenue for us. I mean, this is quite obvious. Alright, so we are done with the national NewSpace India Limited company, and moving on to the next press release. This is about Ministry of Culture and Tourism. The context was altogether different, but there in a long speech I found these two words important. Ministry of Culture and Tourism has set up baby feeding room in Taj Mahal and is planning to set up these baby feeding rooms in many tourist facilities where there are high number of women tourists. So we know the purpose behind these rooms, so no need for further explanation. Further, under Ministry of Culture and Tourism, again almost 137 peaks are open for general public. Peaks here means mountain peaks for mountaineering. Okay, what I found interesting is that Siachen Glacier has also been opened for public. So this is something I didn't find in newspapers otherwise. So yeah, Siachen Glacier has also been open for public, so now people can go there as tourists. Alright. Further, Minister talked about India's improving its ranking from 40th to 34th in the year 2019 in what? In World Travel and Tourism Index. So completely factual information. World Travel and Tourism Index 2019, India's ranking is 34th, a jump of 6 positions. It is released by which organization? By World Economic Forum. Nothing to be understood. Please memorize this. Alright. Further, next press release was about Shri Dharmendra Pradhan appeals to the steel industry to work towards the mission Green Steel. So what is Green Steel? Green steel is nothing. Steel cannot be green per se. Steel we know is what? It's an alloy of iron, carbon, and there could be some portion of manganese also, but basically it's iron and carbon. But just to make that steel, industry must be deploying technologies that are environment friendly. To anything that is done in order to make the steel, we need electricity, we need water. So all these things has to be done in a way that they have minimal impact on the language, and this is what making it a green steel. Okay, so further, Minister talks about that Pradhan Mantri Urja Ganga project has been launched in the eastern India, which can provide gas. What gas? Gas means PNG, that is piped natural gas, to all steel plants, and not just to steel plants, even to household also. And we know that natural gas is quite environment friendly. GAIL is implementing this entire project because pipelines have to be set up, and we know GAIL is the agency that supplies this gas, Authority of India Limited. So GAIL supplies the gas, and the ministry is Ministry of Petroleum and Natural Gas. So Pradhan Mantri Urja Ganga project is under which ministry? Ministry of Petroleum and Natural Gas. Alright, it talks about what? It talks about providing piped natural gas, and natural gas we know what it is. It's primary, it's made up of methane, and certain other gases are also there, but they are not primary constituents. Primarily it's methane, so we can use its substitutability. We can substitute the word methane with natural gas also. Okay. So piped natural gas, Pradhan Mantri Urja Ganga project in eastern India. Ministry is Minister of Petroleum and Natural Gas. This is it. Alright. This is cleaner fuel, way more clean than the LPG. Even LPG is not very clean, so government is planning to substitute LPG with petroleum, with piped natural gas. All right. Further, this is interesting and this is important also with the changing pattern of UPSC. In the year 2018-19, first position was to China in terms of production of crude steel. Number 1 China, number 2 India, and number 3 Japan. This is important because India has surpassed Japan. India has replaced Japan to be at number 2. Number 1 China, number 2 India, number 3 Japan. This is it. 2018-19 we're talking about. Okay. Next is about Ministry of Youth Affairs and Sports. Nothing difficult here and nothing pre-specific here, but let's just cover it either way. It's barely going to take 60 seconds. Ministry of Youth Affairs and Sports has implemented many programs, and the most important is Khelo India program, launched in the year 2017. Alright. Further, government has, or the ministry has also come up with TOPS program. TOPS is Target Olympic Podium scheme. Target means target, Olympic means Olympic, podium means stage, a stage of Olympic, and scheme means scheme. So government's gonna be going for targeted intervention so as to have maximum number of Olympic medals in the Olympics that's gonna be held in the year 2020. Not just Olympic but Para-Olympics also. So top scheme is also there. Please note it down and quote it as and when a question is with regard to the sports sector. Alright. Third scheme is this. Name is Assistance to National Sports Federation. Again, this is the name, you can just memorize it. TOPS is there, Khelo India program is there, and the third one is Assistance to National Sports Federation. This does what? This basically identifies the promising sports person or teams who they feel they have high capability to get a medal. Then they are provided with requisite or required facilities through state governments, through National Sports Federation. So National Sports Federation is there. Players, they get coaching through National Sports Federation, right? And this mission identifies such players and provide them with all the facilities through these National Sports Federation. Okay, this is it. Now the last press release is again not very important, but again it's important also. We really can't be sure of anything, so let's just cover it either way. This is about steps taken to ensure education of children and disability. Very easy. In the year 2018-19, Ministry of HRD launched Samagra Shiksha. Just memorize this. 18-19, Ministry of HRD launched a program. The name is Samagra Shiksha. This is what? This is an integrated scheme for school children, for school education, covering children with special needs from class 1 to class 12th. This is integrated because we are not going for any fragmented approach कि जैसे 6th तक के लिए कोई और स्कीम है, 8th के लिए कोई और है, फिर 9th 10th के लिए अलग से और 12th के लिए अलग से. No, from class 1 to class 12th, integrated scheme for school education covering children with special needs. So this is important. Further, one thing more that I found important is this. As per amendments of 2012, the RTE Act, that is Right to Education Act, also mandates that child with multiple or severe disability has the right to opt for home-based education. Very interesting. Even Right to Education Act also have this very provision wherein a child suffering from disabilities would be provided with the option of a home-based education if she or he chooses to do so. Alright, and this is as per the amendment to the act, so this was not there in the original act. Okay, now please pause this video and try reading this PIB. Everything that could be done possibly for the people with special abilities who are there in the age 6 to what? Schooling age up till 12th. Government has done everything under Samagra Shiksha Abhiyan. So just pause this video and try reading it, because if I end up reading, it's gonna take a lot of time, and either way there is nothing important here. Like for example, the scheme talks about provision for ramps, handrails, disabled friendly toilets for barrier free access to school for children. Even they have the option of going for a home based schooling. So everything is there, all good things are there. So this is it. As per the name is important, that can be quoted somewhere in our answer, and amendment to the RTE is also important. So this is it. So we are done with the PIB. there is just last thing I would like to talk, that we know the UPSC result is out, and many congratulations to the people who have cleared this exam. But again, some of the very deserving people could not clear, and this in fact was very disheartening and again shocking also. But we know this is how it is. We really cannot predict anything in advance, and the entire procedure is something which leaves no chance to self-introspect. I mean, one can really think about what went wrong, but again, there is no such time or any efficient means to do such exercise, right? So I mean, I really don't think if anybody is watching, barely 50 people watch PIB, but either way, if somebody is watching, then it's just that what's next? Maybe this is not the right time to even think about what's next. Maybe it's okay to be not thinking anything, it's okay to be indecisive, and it's okay to be ambivalent. Maybe after a week or two, one can really think about what's next. And we know quitting is always an option. One can always quit. There is nothing difficult about quitting. I mean, I'm sure people who are into 6th or 7th year of preparation, their parents will be more than happy to see their child quitting, in terms of willing to not see their ward spending so much of time into studying, which end up yielding nothing at the end of the day, right? So this is something one can always do. Like, it's like nobody is forcing us to be regular in this journey, to be continue in this journey. But again, alternative to quitting is also there. Like within 200 plus days, one can always regain the old ground. Within 250 days, we'll be seeing next year's result of 2020, and we can see the name in the list. There's always a probability one can really bounce back and work hard. I'm sure UPSC aspirants are not scared of the working hard. Working hard is not something that one is scared of, right? So I mean, it's just a deviation, but I again wanted to say this because it's very important to be a support system to the people who we are in touch with in this difficult time. So yes, just be supportive to the people. If you are in touch with somebody who is into this preparation, you have not gotten the result on an expected level, a good advice can really bring a remarkable change in one's decision, in one's life. So yes, this is it. Just be neutral, be happy, don't think anything for a week at least, and then take a decision based on the pros and cons. Quitting is there, no doubt, but within 250 days, one can always bounce back and see its name in the result, right? So this is it, friends. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.